Carolinas. It's Russ. It's Les. It's the Man Space Podcast. Take it away, fellas.
Thank you, voice girl, and welcome once again to another edition of the Man Space Podcast. Now, this is the voice of Russ, and with me, as always, is my co-host, who is still boycotting McDonald's until they bring back the snack wrap, the one and only Big Les.
Man, you're a man after my own heart. You know that. Just, I used to love the snack wrap, man.
I know you did. I know you did.
Hey, man, some old habits die very, very hard. You know,
One day they will bring it back.
I can tell you what they can stop bringing back is that McRib. Don't nobody want that crap.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, this is one of those weeks where I just had a week all over the place, and I just had one thing to happen, and I don't care if it's funny to anybody else. It's funny to me. But
that already tells me. But go ahead.
So my wife and I were out, and I go to the Blue Store. Hey, Man Space Nation, they don't sponsor us, but you guys can figure it out. We won't say their name. It's the Big Box Blue Store. Yeah. So I go into the Big Box Blue Store, and I decide to go to the restroom, right? So I walk into the restroom, and there's an older gentleman standing there, and he's waiting for one of the stalls to open up.
Yeah.
I don't need that. So he moves out my way. I go to the urinal. I handle my business. A stall opens up, and here comes the guy coming out, and he goes to the sink, and he's washing his hands.
Yeah.
So the gentleman that was waiting for the stall goes into the and all you hear is
You're about to die.
And I glance over at the guy that just came out of there.
Yeah.
And he can't stop laughing.
Right.
So now I can't stop laughing. And this whole time, this man is in there just coughing and gagging.
Yeah.
The whole time. I felt bad for him. And I'm sitting here and I got tears in my eyes just thinking about it because it was hilarious to me. And then I walked outside and I'm telling Mrs. Russ the story. And here comes the old man.
Oh, no.
And now I've started all over again.
Yeah.
Tears running down my face. I can't even get out of the parking lot. Just
hey, sometimes, man, it's just those things that make you laugh. You just gotta laugh, man.
Absolutely.
That would be funny though, because somebody, I would laugh too. So there's nothing wrong with you, sir. There's nothing wrong.
And because it wasn't me coming out of the stall, that's why it's funny to me.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I think I'd have probably just, stayed in there and played a game on my phone or something until everybody left.
Hey, when nature calls, it calls, bro. You got to go.
That's right.
You got to go. So choking and all.
Choking and all.
Goodness gracious. Oh, man.
So what's been going on, big bro?
Man, ain't nothing, man. Been out here sliding and gliding. The weather's been nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta take my bike to the shop, man.
Okay, what's wrong with the bike?
I don't know. I mean, I rode it for a couple hours, and then I had lunch with another partner. And as I was at the stop sign waiting to pull out in the traffic, my bike just shut off. Just nothing. No lights, no nothing. Just
did you eat too much during lunch?
Bro, I possibly could have.
a little heavy on the seat.
I had a doggy bag in that in them bags, boy. I try to tell you that. Nah. Hey. But man, this barbecue restaurant is out of control.
Which one?
I ain't even gonna mention their name.
Okay.
But you probably you've been to the place, I'm sure.
Okay.
But I ordered the 3 meat and it says $21.99. It's kind of rich already. I'm like, okay, but this is what I want.
Right.
I tell the lady what I want. She says, "Oh, it's $37." $37.45. I was like, what?
Right. Oh,
How did
man.
it get $37.45? Just like because there's an upcharge on all the meats that you chose.
Because they weren't part of the 3 meats.
They were part of the 3 meats, but beside it, I didn't see the little $3, $5, $4
So
for the
you must have got
upcharge.
brisket and stuff like that. Yeah.
Chicken wings. Why is there an upgrade on chicken wings?
Dude, have you seen the price of a bag of chicken wings in
I
the store?
have.
I mean, there's your upcharge right there.
Just change the price then. Don't hurt my feelings.
That's the sign.
Yeah, that's the sign. I shouldn't have been eating there. I should have went to McDonald's.
Not until they bring back the snack wrap.
Not until they bring back the snack wrap. I would have just been standing there hungry, stomach hollering at me.
But listen, Man Space Nation, we have a special guest that's going to be joining us. He is a native Michigander. Les, did I do that right?
Yes, you did. Michigander.
I pulled that one out just for you.
You learned something. You learned something on them road trips, huh?
Hey, I looked that one up. Listen, our special guest, he's an accomplished author of several novels such as Ice Rising, Icebox, Ice Rain, The Ballad of Johnny Carlo, and Life's Dark Corners. From a young age, our guest loved to read books of all kinds, but his favorite genre is true crimes and crime fiction. Outside of writing, he is an avid reader, a video game player, movie watcher, practicing capoeira, and exploring new places. Man Space Nation, I need you to give a warm welcome for our guest, James Michels.
Hey.
Yes. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
I can get used to that applause. I can get used to that.
Wait, let's give it to him one more time.
One more time. Here you go.
There we go. Yes. All right.
So I'm going to join you in that McDonald's boycott for the snack wrap. But I'm the only person in my house I can do this for because I have 3 kids and I can't. I can't boycott for them, so I can only boycott for myself. But I'm with you on that.
Hey man, I still eat chicken nuggets, so it is what it is.
My wife just ended her boycott because she got the steak, egg, and cheese bagel just came back, so her boycott just ended. She's like, "You taking me to McDonald's?"
Well, mine might end too now.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that boycott.
My boycott just ended as well.
All is forgiven.
Yeah. Hey, you got to keep bringing back those money makers, man. That steak, egg, and cheese bagel was a monster.
It was.
I used to work at McDonald's and Wendy's, and they would have me wash the dishes. So sometimes they'd have like the racks of nuggets, and they'd put it right there. So okay, get rid of them. I'm like, sure, I'll get rid of them.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Best job ever.
Yeah. Hey, I watched This Is the McDonald's too, so I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
So I got a quick question for you.
Yes.
And this is going to be the most important question of this entire interview. And if you answer it wrong, it might just end the interview right now.
Dun, 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 dun.
So it says that in your bio says that you're a video game player.
Yes.
Are you Xbox? Are you PlayStation?
Ooh, you did a line in the sand. Okay, so it would depend on the time of on which time of my life. Growing up, like little kid, PlayStation 1 and 2. That was mine. And then when I got into high school, Xbox 360.
Okay.
That's the system I got. And then I ended up getting a PlayStation 4 back when, like, about a year or two after that came out, and I've stuck with it ever since. But I don't have a loyalty.
Okay.
I'll play pretty much anything.
I like the way you answered that. So we'll let it slide.
He
staying
threw that one up in the air real quick. That was a magic trick. Good thing.
And I still have my Xbox 360 and my PlayStation 2.
Nice.
Now let me ask you this.
I just re-hooked up the Xbox 360 because the kids don't mess with the discs anymore, so I can hook it up now again.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Is your 360 modded?
We're not supposed to talk about that on air, Les.
It's old technology now. It's past. We could talk about it. The feds are not coming after them now.
It's been so long. I bought it used from GameStop when my last one crashed.
Okay. So yeah.
No.
It's not modded.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
Yeah. No, mine is.
See, and then you talking trash.
I know, right? Yeah. No, mine is.
I tell you.
But most of the games I play on there are ones I already had from my system.
Don't try to justify it.
So I'm justifying it. I'm just fine. I'm good. I'm good, man. if they're listening, I'm good.
Yeah. All is good. So James, we have something in common, sir. We're both Michiganders.
Yes, sir. Both Peninsula Michiganders. And we're both kind of from right around here.
Right around the same area. Yeah, that's right. So you're from Livonia, right?
I am, yes.
Awesome. And I'm from the west side of Detroit by Dearborn. So, it's good to have somebody else on here. But I have a quick question for you. Michigan or Michigan State?
Who do you like? It's going to affect the question. It's going to affect my answer.
Oh, is it? I'm a State fan.
What a coincidence.
See,
I love State.
we need to add magician to this guy's name as well.
Wow. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? That's it right there.
Okay. I have to confess, I've never been a sports guy, but what's great about it is, again, I'm able to, I'm like a chameleon, so I'm able to adapt to the room. So you're a State guy. I'm a State guy. I love State. Amazing. God's team.
Love the way he did that.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm telling you, he's an artist, man.
Absolutely. But listen, so your bio mentioned that your love of storytelling began in childhood. So what kind of books inspired you? What were the books that inspired you? What were the authors that really kind of helped develop your style, and particularly in the realms of like true crime and fiction? Like, I can't think of being a young child like listening to true crime or watching that type of stuff, or even like reading the books. Like, to me, it was like I'm watching Transformers and He-Man and stuff, and so it's like, what got you into this field?
Well, to be fair, I really didn't take writing seriously until I was 25.
Okay.
Before then, if you had told me I was going to write a book one day, I would think you're crazy. Must be a U of M fan. And but no, like, so I've always been an avid reader, and when I was 25, I was at a point in my life where I had a stable job and I was starting to raise a family, but I kind of realized I was going to plateau career-wise. So I started developing challenges for myself. Like, what are some things I could do to kind of just build myself up and become bigger and better? Especially as I'm starting to have kids and whatnot, so I can be, an example like that. And I said, why don't I write a book? That'd be kind of fun,
Okay.
But I remembered when I was a teenager that I had started writing a book, and then like 2 or 3 weeks into it, I said, okay, I'm done. Back to my Xbox 360. And so I remembered that. I remember that time. I said, okay, if I'm going to do this again, this time I'm going to stick with it. And, I've always been interested in, like you had said, I've always been interested in true crime fiction. So I wanted to kind of I wanted to write a book based on the stuff I like to read about.
Got it.
So that's how what would become Ice Rising came to be. And I thought it was going to be a one-off, just kind of write the book, and the premise that I had for the story, I was about 200 pages in, and I hadn't gotten to the beginning of my original premise. So I said, okay, I have a series of books to write. And then other ideas started coming up in my head, and I realized, whoa, like I have something here. And for me, it was the first time I really found something I believe I had a natural talent in, which I think we all do. I just never found mine. I finally found it in writing. So, and here I am almost 6 years later with 5 books published. I'm writing my 6th one now, wrapping that up, and I have my idea for the 7th one as soon as I get that one finished.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Now, are you self-published, or are you using a actual publishing company, or?
Well, after a year of trying to get my books published traditionally, when I script for Ice Rising typed out and ready to go, I went to agent after agent after agent after agent after agent after agent, and then another agent after that, and nobody picked me up. And I was just getting really frustrated because here I am. I told everybody I'm going to be an author. I told myself I'm going to be an author. People would technically say that I am an author at that point, but I wanted to have the published physical copy. I wanted to hold it in my hands. I wanted to hold it. And so I decided to self-publish, and that was actually a very hard decision because I thought my plan was find an agent, give them the book, they're going to fall in love with it, they'll send it to the company, they'll fall in love with it, they'll publish it, and everybody will buy it because everybody will love it, and then Quentin Tarantino or Scorsese or somebody will pick it up, and I'm going to be and all I have to do is just keep writing. It didn't work out like that. And I was like, well, I don't know how to market, but at the same time, I want my book out there. So I was like, okay, we're about to put our nose to the grindstone and make this thing happen. So I self-published on Amazon, and I've been self-publishing ever since. And if I had to, looking back on it now, if I could have done anything different, I mean, if I had to do something different, not that I would. If I had to do something different, I would have self-published earlier.
Got it.
Because for me, it's like, everybody's different. Obviously people have published traditionally for hundreds and hundreds of years and have been very successful, and power to them. For me, I love having the creative control because I'm a control freak when it comes to my stories. I can't stand anybody like changing my work. Well, if they make it into a movie and pay me $3 million, hey, have fun.
Of course.
But
it's all yours, right?
Oh yeah, do what you want to do.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I thought my character was a guy. It's a girl now. Oh, okay, all right. We'll go with that.
We'll roll with it.
Yeah.
So, it's been a great journey since then.
Awesome.
Learned a lot of great networking, meeting new people, and just kind of having that like the hustler's mentality and stuff. Just kind of working at it every single day. Yeah, it's fun. There's been those times where there's some struggle, but you really get to count the victories one at a time, even like the small ones, and they add up.
I was on Amazon reading the preview of Ice Rising, and I'm like, this is good. I'm like, let me go and put this in my cart because I enjoyed it. Like just going through the first few pages of it, I'm like, this seems like this has got real potential. So it's in my cart right now. So for me to go ahead and order. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
There you go. Look at that. So James, tell me, how much of growing up in Michigan played into your writing?
Well, to be honest, I actually moved my characters outside of Michigan. Kind of like when I started writing Ice Rising, I wanted to have full control over the entire world that would be Ice Rising. So I created a fictional city in Northern California. I set up the economy, all the characters. everything like that. And again, because I was so nervous about writing my first book, I wanted to just kind of give myself that like fictional world where I am God kind of thing to it.
Yeah.
So and I was so nervous about like writing something that somebody, from Michigan would say, "Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
We don't get hurricanes."
And someone would do that for sure.
Yes,
For
yes.
sure.
We have Great Lakes, but we've never had a hurricane. We've had floods.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
How much of yourself is actually involved in your characters? Like, do you sit there and take some characteristics of you growing up and put it into your leads or anything?
It would depend on the character. So, like, for example, in the Ballad of Johnny Carlo, Johnny Carlo is he's a hitman for the mafia, and he's known for being very efficient. He just has a talent for, being a hitman.
Yeah.
And in a way, I was able to identify with that. Not the hitman part. I've never killed anybody, but the kind of taking pride in what you're good at.
Got it.
Okay. When it's not always something that you say, okay, hey, cool, I get to do this today, but it's like this is what I'm good at, and I'm going to keep doing it. So kind of like that, not obsessed about it, but that like determination.
Yeah.
You just like follow what you believe is what you're supposed to be doing. If that makes sense, if that's fair to say.
No, that makes sense. Awesome. All right.
Interesting.
So it's time to play a game.
Ooh.
Yeah. This is called our lightning round. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
all right.
Wait, Les.
You got it. Okay. All right, here we go. Lightning round. There it is. All right. So there it is. There's the little growl.
There it is.
There
it is. It's a little late, but it's there.
Yeah. Russ is going to ask you questions, right? Just say the first thing that comes to your mind, whether you're going to hear music in the background, but we're going to play it for 60 seconds. All right. And when the music stops, the time is up. But answer with the first thing that comes off your mind. Just shoot it on out there for us.
Okay. Right? Just have a note that I am answering under duress. All right.
You are.
All right. Ready?
Ready.
All
Here
right.
we go.
Travel to the past or to the future?
To the past.
Favorite place to visit?
Disney World.
Would you rather have the superpower of flight or super strength?
Strength.
Console or PC gaming?
Console.
Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
What's your favorite book?
The Last Down by Mario Puzo.
What is your favorite movie?
The Godfather. 1 and 2.
Favorite movie theater snack?
Cookie dough bites.
Night in or night out?
Night in.
If you could have dinner with any fictional character, who would it be?
Michael Corleone.
Biggest role model?
It varies. Thousands.
Nice. Okay.
Give it to him. Give him the last one.
I'm giving. Okay.
Here
Favorite actor or actress?
Al Pacino.
Nice.
Okay. All
nice.
Right.
So, before we go to break, so you mentioned travel to the future. What reason? Why would you want to travel to the future?
No, travel to the past.
Travel to the past. Sorry. Yes.
I like to people watch, and I would like to. I'm kind of like an amateur historian, and I would love to kind of follow these like important historical figures and kind of just like sit in the room with them while they make these big decisions.
Nice.
Like when have you guys ever read that or watched that documentary, The Men Who Built America, on the History Channel?
Yeah.
About Carnegie and Rockefeller. I would love to sit in the office with those guys while they're making those decisions and just kind of like ask them questions like why this and why that. So
understood.
Just kind of pick the brains of people that have like just throughout history, great leaders, businessmen, artists, whoever, and just kind of like ask them, okay, why?
Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, let's go to break, and Man Space Nation, we will be back with more with our special guest, James Michels.
So, Man Space Nation, we're back here with our author James Michels. One thing I like about reading books is getting lost in my imagination and being able to imagine what the author is describing on the pages, right? When a reader picks up one of your books, James, what would you hope the readers take away from it?
They enjoy the story.
Story.
The first couple years as a writer, I was really trying to figure out what type of writer I would be. Would I be like Dostoevsky or Dickens, where they just take everything that's in the book and it has to represent something about society or something like that, or would it be like poetic or something? And as I was writing, I said, okay, well, what do I like to read about books? Of course, I love to read books where I can learn stuff, and I love to read books where I can, gain perspective. But most of the time, I read to enjoy a good story. So that's the same reason why I like to write. Now, if somebody comes to me and says, hey, your book changed my life, or I thought about this, or, it gave me this new viewpoint, that's awesome. I'm so happy for it. How'd you like the story? That's
right.
Right. Yeah. Like, because it's like, it's the same reason that I watch movies or play video games. It's to escape into a great story. I'm a very story-driven person. So when I set out to write something, I just had to entertain. I love to entertain. I love the awe factor. When people, when somebody reads something, they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Didn't see
that feeling when like you're reading a book and you're just like, you're kind of dreading to see what happens because you don't know what's going to happen next, but you can't stop reading. So you committed to the ride and you're stuck on it. The handlebars are down. And you're not getting off until you get to the end.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Wow. You got several books under your belt, and when you're writing, like what is the process for you coming up with your characters, coming up with new ideas, and making sure that things stay fresh?
Well, the way I like to write is I pretty much totally shoot from the hip. In the writing world, I'm what they call a pantser, which is somebody who just, like I really don't know what's going to happen in the story, to be honest. I'll have a pretty solid beginning where I want to start off with, and I'll have sort of an ending in mind, subject to change. So it's a question of how do you get from point A to point B? And just so I think Stephen King said it best. He said, I don't write the news, I just report it.
Got it.
Which kind of made me feel great. He's such a big author and he kind of writes like how I do. Has no idea what's going to happen next in the story. So in a way, it's, like I'm the first reader of my stories, and it's very exciting for myself. So yeah, I mean, it's weird how it comes along, because it helps me to avoid writer's block, because I kind of just write like, okay, let's just, see how this feels. Does this scene make sense to be like the next chapter in it? And like I can't outline to save my life. I don't think I'd be able to really. I couldn't. The closest I ever came to an outline was creating the cast of characters for the Ballad of Johnny Carlo. And there were 1 or 2 characters on the list I never ended up using, and a couple others that I had to change around a little bit. So yeah, I mean, if I had to outline, I probably wouldn't be able to write another book. Like if that was what I was like the main strategy, like if I was forced to, I wouldn't be able to write another book. Because just there'd be so many details, so many things that would pop up in my head, like, oh wait, what about this? Like I would say, okay, Jack is supposed to, I don't know, he's supposed to bring these set of lockpicks over to Tony to break in. Oh, but what if I blow up Jack's car on the way there? That would be awesome. So it was just, it would change too much.
Yeah.
So no, it's fun, but at the same time, I don't really know how long the story's going to be. Like when I wrote the Ballad of Johnny Carlo, I didn't know going in that I was going to write a 500-page book, and it was going to take me 15 months. And it's my second book, and published.
Oh wow,
25 pages.
Yeah.
So,
well, hey, but that means you had some story in you when you were writing it.
Yeah,
because it just kept coming, right? That's got to be great.
It's kind of like the idea itself is like a pitcher of water in my head, and as I'm writing, I'm pouring out a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And as you're pouring out water out of a pitcher, you can feel when like it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And so like, near the end, you just get to that last like dunk, and everything's it's empty and the story's out. So I can kind of tell when I'm getting to the end of the story, and I'm getting that feeling about the book I'm working on right now, actually. So I'm excited about that. Book number 6 coming this year.
There's nothing wrong with that. So
can't tell you when, but I'm working on
it. I hear you. So we've interviewed several authors here on the Man Space, and we have several aspiring authors who listen to us. What advice or what would you give? What advice would you give to an aspiring artist or writer, I should say?
Figure out the reason why you want to write. When you start something, finish it, even if you hate it, because I think a lot of aspiring writers they get scared. I don't know if that's right. Where they get hesitant. I'm not saying that they're scared, but they lose enthusiasm about the story they're writing. Maybe they doubt themselves. I would tell those people, just finish it, and then send it out to somebody. Because even if the story doesn't work, someone may say, okay, maybe the story doesn't work, but I like how you wrote it. If that makes sense. So it may give them confidence of, okay, I know how to write. I just need to find the right story to write. And I think the last piece of advice I would give is to keep reading. Because, in the writing world, there's a lot of contemporaries, a lot of, we're basically all colleagues and peers. And a lot of us learn from each other. I mean, like every musical artist has their own inspirations for why they got into music. Writers have the same. I have my own set. Mario Puzo. I think that one was evident in the lightning round questions. That I'm a Mario Puzo fan. James Patterson, Jonathan Mayberry. Those guys. Yeah, I love their writing. What's his name? TJ English. I love him too. But yeah. So keep reading. So, because that's how we learn, and that's how it helps you to structure a good story and structure sentencing, spelling, grammar, things like that.
Yeah. Awesome.
That I like the way you put that, because when we got into podcasting, that's kind of the way we developed a community with podcasters. We started getting on other people's shows. Other people were coming on our shows, and we developed a little core, and we all started to support each other to kind of build a big podcasting, almost podcasting family. And it helped us spread our message across the country. And really, we're getting listeners from across the world just by connecting with other podcasters, being able to spread our message around.
Sure.
I like the way you put that, because that's really about growth and helping each other. That to me, it's always, I always look at it as that, and Les knows I like to relate stuff back to food, but it's a big pie and everybody's going to get a slice of this pie.
I love pie.
So why, So why not we can all eat, right? But can you clue us in on anything that any of your upcoming projects that you have going on?
So, like I said, I'm working on my 6th book right now. For people that are familiar with my Ballad of Johnny Carlo book, which itself is kind of like, when I wrote the Ballad of Johnny Carlo, when I was done with it, I kind of realized I had like a Sin City type of potential here, where you can take this vast world and just make more and more stories. They're separate from each other, but the same universe, and they kind of intermingle. And that's what I started doing with my second book. I actually experimented with that already in Life's Dark Corners, which is a collection of short stories. I created an origin story for two of the characters from the Battle of Johnny Carlo. In the next book I'm writing, it's going to actually be about a different mafia family from the one that Johnny Carlo works for. And it's going to take place several years before the events of the Battle of Johnny Carlo. It's going to involve mob war, the return of certain characters, Johnny Carlo himself, his girlfriend at the time, Aurora Argento, the mob boss that he worked for, Dominic Argento, who's Aurora's grandmother, his best friend Vincent, who's like the chaotic evil character in the series. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm still writing it. I had a feeling this was going to be longer than the Battle of Johnny Carlo, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it's going to be, which was great for myself. It's like, okay, cool. I wrote a 500-page book that's full of, thriller and action and suspense, and I can do that with a book that's like, can I push that? Can I make a book even longer that's going to actually fulfill all that as well? And I'm pretty confident that it will.
Awesome. Yeah, I love to hear that, and the enthusiasm in your voice. You know what I mean? It really it makes me feel good. That you're really believing in what you do. So to our listeners out there, tell them, how can they find you? How can they find your books? What are your social handles and things like that if they want to catch up with you?
Definitely. So you can follow me on Facebook.com/James the Real Mike. Play on my last name, Michels. You can follow me on Twitter.com/James Real Mike, TikTok.com/@James Real Mike, Instagram.com/James E. Michels, and YouTube.com/James Michels Books, or just look up that profile, James Michels Books, on YouTube. Now, if you're interested in checking out my stories, all of my books, I have copies of them here. Ice Rising, Ice Box, and Ice Rain, part of an ongoing series. I'm not done yet. I have at least one more book in mind for this, but it could end up being 10, 13, 40, 100 more in the series. So we'll see what happens. He's still pretty young as a character, Ice. So yeah, he could be a lot more stories. If you're more interested in short stories, things like that, check out Life's Dark Corners. 5 different people, 5 epic tales of crime. And of course, what we had talked about, the Battle of Johnny Carlo. All of them are available on Amazon for Kindle Unlimited, and paperback. And the Battle of Johnny Carlo also has a hardcover version.
Nice. And you're self-published. Beautiful.
Yes, sir.
It's beautiful, man. Beautiful. Kudos to you, Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I wanted to call you Michels. Then I was like, no, it's James. Call him Mike. Okay. Kudos to you, Mike.
I get called that. I like it.
Hey, just as long as they don't call you all the other stuff. This is good.
Exactly.
As I've been listening to you talk, and I've been wrestling with the idea of whether or not I was going to make these confessions, but I'm going to go ahead and make these confessions. So, one, I've never seen Sin City. I
10 Hail Marys, 5 Our Fathers.
I actually bought the DVD. I was flying from LA back to Charlotte, and so I bought the DVD to put in my laptop to watch it on the plane. This tells you how old this was.
Yes.
I put it in, it came on, I went to sleep, and I never watched it.
So I can give you at least 5 or 6 good reasons for why you have to watch that movie. Powers Booth, Jessica Alba, Mickey Rourke.
That's the one.
Clive Owen, Rosario Dawson, Michael Clark Duncan. Oh my
you
gosh!
gotta
Why am
stop
I
at Jessica Alba for me? And I was.
So I've watched it, but I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Bruce Willis. Gosh.
Bruce Willis. Yeah. He was the main character.
Name for
the
a
main
minute.
character, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I've never seen
those
it.
are all the reasons.
And my other two, and we're going to go to break on this one. I've never seen The Godfather.
I'm having computer problems. I'm breaking up. I'm leaving.
Oh my goodness. Oh man.
Yep.
You are gonna have a busy weekend because now you have to watch all three Godfathers, even the third one.
Gotta watch
that. It will take you a grand total of nonstop 8 hours to watch all of them.
Okay.
Or 9 hours, maybe.
Well, yeah. But you got to pay attention to one. Definitely, you got to pay attention to one to understand the rest of it.
To say this, watch, just if you have to watch one thing in Godfather 1, watch Al Pacino. Watch him in the beginning when he's just coming home and he's the civilian son, not mafia, and he's just trying to figure it out. And he's just like, when things happen, he's just, he's got to act quick and he's nervous. And then watch him at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When he's just calm and collected.
Different character.
Lost the family. Mysterious. He's broke all the lines, did what he had to do. Total character transformation.
Yeah. The
best cinematic villain of all time. Except maybe Darth Vader. But
it's my guy. I guess.
Yeah.
I love them both.
Poetic.
James, it has been fantastic having you on the show. Definitely when you get your next book released, we definitely want to have you on again. We're definitely going to stay in touch so we can keep an eye on what you're doing. Manspace Nation, go out to Amazon and pick up these books and support our guy here. And tremendous job. Books are there, right there on the screen. Let's take a break and we'll be back with more of the Manspace podcast.
Yeah.
As we do each week, we like to close the show with just a little bit of inspiration. You see, faith is an unwavering belief in the unseen, the steadfast trust in the journey, even when the path seems uncertain. It's the beacon of light that guides us even through the darkest of nights, reminding us that there is hope in the midst of despair. In times of doubt and adversity, faith is our anchor. It's the inner strength that propels us forward, empowering us to rise above all challenges and embrace the possibilities that lie ahead. With faith as our compass, we dare to dream boldly and pursue our passions fearlessly. We trust in the process, knowing that every setback is a stepping stone. Every obstacle is a chance to grow stronger. So Manspace Nation, let your faith be your fuel, igniting the flames of perseverance and resilience within you. Believe in yourself, believe in your journey, and watch miracles unfold before your eyes. For where there is faith, there is endless possibilities and the promise of a brighter tomorrow.
What? Whew. Oh man!
Did you get inspired by that, Les?
I got inspired. Did you hear that? Faith, basically, faith without work is dead.
Absolutely. This past weekend, I was in Nashville, and I was walking through the children's hospital, and it got to the point just listening to some of the doctors where they didn't know what to do for some of these children. I mean, it's heartbreaking to even see newborn babies in some of these situations.
Yeah, man.
But it's just a testament of faith. Is all you can believe is put positive energy around them and believe and put your faith into it.
Yeah, that's how I walk through life every day, man. I try not to dwell on anything in the negative and worry about the negative. And I don't worry about what happened 5 seconds ago because I can't change it. That's it.
You definitely don't.
I don't.
What did we talk about at the beginning of the show, Les?
I don't remember.
Of course you don't. April 19th, I will be down in Atlanta.
Yeah.
At Speak Atlanta, the Deeper Men Conversation. So I will be there moderating that event on April 19th. Come out and support us. There'll be more information on the website. And April 23rd, it is our 200th episode of the Manspace Podcast. We want you to go out to the manspacepodcast.com, click on the link with the one handsome guy on it, and then and register to be part of the live audience. When you're part of the live audience on that episode, you'll be able to send in your questions. And hey, maybe some of those will get read on air and answered. We'll have special guests, a lot of laughs, and a lot more. So that's April 23rd at 7:30 p.m. Go to the podcast.com and register for that event. And on that note, Les,
I got to get a haircut and we out of here.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Man Space.
Whichever platform you listen to us on, make sure you subscribe and don't miss a show.
Remember to keep up with all the Manspace updates on our website, themanspacepodcast.com.
And you can follow us on Instagram at ManspaceNat1.
Until next time, Manspace Nation, he's Les, I am Russ, and we are out
of here.